Okay, what is up, people? Welcome back to another stream. Hope everyone is doing good. Welcome back. Anus, what is up? Hope you're doing good. Typefield Effects, what is up? Brian, what is up? Hope everyone's doing good. Rav D, good morning. Missed the stream yesterday, but you're here today though. Glad to see you back on the stream. Hope everything is well. But yeah, guys, if you are new to the stream, feel free to drop a like. It does really help out the channel, and subscribe if you haven't done already. If you haven't done already as well, make sure you go check out my Telegram channel. I do post my updates there, trades, setups, and videos there I create every week. So feel free to go check that out. Link in the description and at the top of the chat there. And if you are looking for a broker, I do have my affiliate link to IC Markets. Feel free to check them out if you want to, if you're looking for a broker. But yeah, guys, welcome back to another stream. Hope everyone's doing good. Rav D looking for USD JPY for sell around 132,300. Okay, we'll take a look. Anus, what is up? Miko, what do you think about the sales on gold at 1969? Okay, I'll go see what's going on gold. I haven't really actually looked at gold since yesterday, so we'll go see what's happening there. Yeah, I haven't changed the stream time. It's always the stream is always 10 a.m. in the UK. So whatever the UK is doing with their clocks, whether they're pushing them forward or backwards, it's always going to be 10 a.m. with the UK, because recently, we moved our clocks forward, so it's changed for people around the world, but it's always going to be 10 a.m. UK time. Tokevex, what's up? Love to see you back on the stream. Hope you're doing well. So yeah, let me go take a look at USD JPY. Rad D is looking for sells at 132,300, and Ains is looking at sells for gold at 1969. We'll start with those pairs there. So USD JPY, what's going on with this? Okay, so yeah, the JPY pairs broke to the upside. Yeah, didn't get any confirmations for Euro JPY. I was looking to short that one yesterday, and I was actually out at the time, but I was keeping an eye on the position on my phone to see if I was going to get any candle pattern. Price kind of was just moving sideways, so I think I left the stream around here. Price moving sideways. This candle here was breaking lower. It looked like we potentially could get an entry candle on that candle there, but by the end of the candle, by the time the candle closed, we pulled back up and closed as a bit of a doji there, a small body candle, so we weren't really seeing any momentum. Then we kind of moved sideways for the rest of the day, and then around 5 p.m. UK time is where I stopped looking at the charts, looking for trades. I can still take a sneak peek, see what's happening, but in terms of looking for trades, I'm done for the day. Then we had this huge bearish engulfing. If that happened about 2 hours earlier, I probably would have entered on that candle, but it was outside of my trading hours, and then since then price broke to the upside. So yeah, Euro JPY failed to hold the level, and so did all the JPY pairs pretty much. Again, that's why I always look to trade one rather than trade 2 or 3. Even if I have the bias for 2 or 3, I'm always going to look to trade the best one, because yeah, if I'm going to trade all 3, I might as well just 3 times my risk on one position rather than go all 3. But Euro JPY, you can see the market broke out that resistance, failed to hold, looking pretty bullish. Same with pound yen as well. Failed to hold that resistance as well, broke through that level. Well, it came into that level there for the first time. Didn't really see much reaction there last night. The price just broke straight through. And USD JPY as well, we were seeing some little bit of downside Asian session yesterday. I was saying some shorts do look good for this one if we can return back into this area here of resistance. However, we've broken through it this morning here. So USD JPY, it's interesting. I'm still bearish on this one. We're still creating lower lows and lower highs. We haven't violated any key high yet. That's still our major lower high in the market, around 133. And I'm still looking at USD JPY to return back down to these lows here. So I still do have a bearish bias, but we're not holding that structure there anymore. So it's a slight red flag, and probably a sign that USD JPY could probably have a bigger retracement, maybe back to this area here. Then we see what price does next around there. Where do you say you're looking for sales at? Rav D, 132,300. Let's go see 132,300. Okay, so you're looking for the retest of that consolidation there. Not a bad idea, actually. Not a bad idea. It also lines up pretty nicely with the support level down the left. Yeah, like I said, it's broken through this area. So this tells me that price is likely to have a deep retracement. So there's a chance we could do something like this and push into your area, then potentially sell off, or we could do something like this where we push into your area firstly, have a retest of that area, and then possibly, push further to the upside. So it's not a bad place to sell. We're still seeing good momentum here on the left, so I do like that. And just looks like the market is likely to have a deeper retracement. So 132,300, if that's the level you're talking about, pretty sure, yeah, does look pretty good. But I would watch out for this area now, because that's obviously turned support. And the fact that we broke through with good momentum is a sign that we're likely to go higher. So if the market does have a retest of this level, watch out. Wait for your entry confirmations. If nothing, price is likely to go higher. And same thing with the sells. This will now be a key level support, which could retest and send price against you. So yeah, 132,300 looks good. It's a good level. It's a good level. Probably some decent fib confluence there as well. But this level resistance is now turned support, which is probably a good area to, if not, take some partials to manage the trade, or maybe for the lower time frames, maybe you can take a TP there, as in full TP. But yeah, not a bad level, not a bad level. I'm backing away from these JPY for now. We're going to see how things unravel, mainly all JPY pairs after that big bullish move yesterday. But yeah, we haven't actually violated any important highs or lows yet, so I'm still bearish overall on JPY, but I will be holding back for some sells. ANIS 1969 gold. Okay, we'll take a look at that. Joseph, what is up? Good morning. Hope you're doing good. Ehab, probably saying that very, very wrong, but welcome to the stream. Hope you're good. What moves are we looking at? Yeah, I'll go through my watch list shortly. Let me just go through gold firstly for ANIS. EuroCHF, yeah, EuroCHF is looking okay, but I want to see a bit more momentum there. I'll go into that one because that's one of the pairs I'm looking at. EuroJPY fake out from consolidation. We'll take a look at EuroJPY in a bit more detail shortly. TokoFX, of course, I hope you're well and having a good holiday. Yeah, I'm doing good. I am doing good. Catching a little tan in March, not normally done in the UK, so it's good to see. Waiting for reversals. Okay. Let me go through these pairs before I get lost. So I'll go through gold. I'll go through EuroCHF, Euro Yen as well. Okay, first let me take a look at gold. 1969, where is that? Let me mark it on the chart. 1969. There. Okay, so I imagine you're going short on the lower time frames, ANIS, maybe like 15-minute chart. I think that's what you normally take a look on. Okay, so 1969. Okay, so on the hourly chart, we've had a really nice impulsive leg. I wouldn't look to sell this market. Same reason I wouldn't look to sell it on the 4H, because the market is still printing higher lows. Since we had this big breakout, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, potentially 8. The market is still printing these high lows. I know we've seen really good momentum to the downside, and we have failed to make higher highs. So that is a good sign from a bearish standpoint, but it's not the best. If we would start to violate some lows, that would be much, much better. The fact that we are failing to create higher highs and we're seeing good momentum is a sign that gold could be looking to reverse or maybe have a deep retracement. But that's all it is. It's just a sign. Nothing more than that really, until we start taking out some lows. Then we can go, okay, we've actually breaking through some structure. Now let's look for the next lower high to actually sell. So although it's not a bad opportunity, this could be the impulse leg. This leg here, we could be seeing a correction for another impulse to the downside. In terms of probability, it's not particularly too high. Nothing that I would shout on the rooftops for, because we are still consecutively placing all these higher lows, and there's a greater chance that the market will probably create another higher low, or at least respect the prior low and actually continue higher. So yeah, for gold, for me, I'm still bullish on this one from a 4H perspective and hourly as well. Just the fact that we are creating the higher highs is a sign of exhaustion. But if these higher lows maintain, I'm expecting us to return back to that resistance there and go and have another retest of that area. So a better opportunity, in my opinion, for gold would be to see either if you come back, respect that prior low, look for the buys there, or if you can take out the highs and look for a break and retest on that level there. I think those opportunities will be a much more probability. Not only are you the same direction as the higher time frames, weekly, daily, 4H, you still got all that bullish momentum in your sales. You've also got the lower time frames, hourly, 15-minute chart, also in that line. So you've got multiple time frames all in that same line of confluence. Whereas the sells, they could play out, of course. It's all about probability. But the probability of market going higher is higher than it going lower based on my analysis, because obviously we don't have solid probabilities to look at. It's all based on your own analysis. But from my analysis, I would definitely favor longs over buys. So sales at 90.69, yes, it could see a reaction around that area. It was briefly resistance there on the left. It could turn resistance again. But if you do get to sales, I would be a little bit conservative with my profit targets, aka this low here. I probably wouldn't push it further than that. If I'm being very, very aggressive, then maybe the prior low. But you can see the market hasn't violated any of these lows. Since then, the market's been very, very consistent with the higher lows. So what makes us think that we're actually going to start breaking through some lows now? We could do, but again, probability is what we're looking at. So shorts look okay, but I would definitely prefer the longs. So if you were to retest 1960 or clear the highs at 1974 and get the retest on that, and you got some clear targets to aim for, basically back to that resistance there at 2K. That's kind of what I'm looking at for gold. So hopefully that's made some sense there. Okay, so Euro CHF, Euro JPY we'll take a look at next. Zesty, what is up? Hope you're doing good. Pound yen, gold. We'll take a look at pound yen. AUSD in a sell. Okay, we'll take a look. Tyrese, no problem. NAS 100. USD CHF, sure. Okay, we'll take a look. Raphael, I took the sell on USD but I closed out, leaving lots of money on the table. But I'm seeing a head and shoulder pattern and a broken neckline, so I'm neutral at the moment. Okay, so what time frame are you seeing that head and shoulder pattern? Are you talking about the big one on the weekly, or is there a particular smaller time frame you're looking at? So yeah, let me know. But let me go take a look at Euro CHF and Euro JPY first. So yeah, Euro CHF, I want to see a bit more momentum, and it looks like we are seeing that momentum. So it has come to my area of interest, my second area of interest, which is coming into this area here. If I zoom out, you can see all these consecutive lower highs. I am liking the looks of Euro CHF. We've got consecutive lower highs here, as we can see if I mark them out. 1, 2, 3, 4, and now looks like potentially a fifth. I was going to enter on this candle here, but it was too small of a candle. I wanted to see momentum pick up a little bit. And now if you can combine those two candles, there will be a much bigger bearish engulfing. That candle's obviously got 3 hours and 37 minutes to go, so it's got quite a few hours left before that closes. But if it can close with good momentum like it's showing right now, we're more than happy to get into the short for this one. Stop loss above the highs there, and probably looking for a push into that neckline, and then eventually into those lows there, and still get a decent risk to reward. This one for me, I was never really going to enter on the hourly chart, because the hourly time frame was a little bit too small for the level that I'm trading from. As you can see, it's quite a big zone there. So hourly chart could give a few false signals before it actually gives the real one. So 4H was going to be a much more conservative, safer option. Maybe a bit more on the stop loss, sure, but a much safer option, more likely to win the trade. So Euro CHF, if you combine those two candles, looks like a good bearish engulfing. Obviously, it's still got majority of its trading period to trade to fluctuate, so it could actually end up being bullish. But if you can close something similar to how it's looking, I will look to enter on that. Stop loss above the highs there, target 1 into the lows here. As you can see, very, very key level support. And then final target, may look to go into these areas here rather than all down to the prior low, because I think I can probably squeeze a 1 to 3 into that area. Say we enter around there, stop loss just above the high. Yeah, around the 1 to 3 into that level. So I'd be more than happy with that target. Then I might leave 10% to run into the lows if things are all looking good. But yeah, Euro CHF's looking good. So hopefully you can enter on that one pretty soonish, at least when that 4H kind of closes, unless anything drastic happens. Yeah, Euro JPY broke to the upside like we were discussing earlier. So what's the plan for Euro JPY going forward? Yeah, Euro JPY is interesting. It's interesting because I'm still looking at this being potentially a major lower high for price to for price to move back down to these lows. But overall, the market's still in a higher time frame bullish trend. If you look at the weekly, the monthly, the monthly still consecutive with these higher lows. So we are still, in a bullish trend here, which you cannot ignore completely. Even with the full H low time frames and looking bearish, we are still consecutive with these higher lows, as we can see here. And potentially we could have printed one there. So even though we are getting these lower highs, we are still getting these higher lows. So the market is a bit in a limbo right now. And the fact that we are not holding 4H resistance is not particularly a good sign for the sellers. So I'm just going to be waiting for more clarity and for more price action to print before I look to do anything. Potentially the market could be forming a lower high, or at least respecting that resistance and then fall. So that is still a probability. That could be a place to look to sell from. But again, the fact that the market didn't hold this is giving us a big red flag just below us. So on the lower time frames, you could probably squeeze a decent trade in. But from hourly 4H, you do have a big obstacle here, which could send the market right back against us. Because now we've got this beautiful level of resistance. Now we've had a really impulsive break. Now this is obviously going to be turned into a level of support. So a trade on the lower time frames into that level looks good. It looks good there, but I'm not too sure if that level will break. If it will break, then we could be back on for ourselves. We could be back on with ourselves again and expecting more downside. So that's pretty much the same trade coming into the week, looking for the market to retest this level, see some downside, potentially the market's having a big fake out, maybe test the resistance there, test the trend line before it goes south. Or potentially we are using that to retest to go higher. Because like I said, the higher time frames are still bullish. We may be seeing a continuation of that. So with Euro Yen, I'm kind of just waiting, observing for the next move. I'm not looking to do anything now. On the lower time frames, like I said, there might be a short-term sell into 142, but we could be using that as support to go higher. So there could actually be some nice buys later on as well. Of course, confirmation is where we're going to be focusing our attention at, because that will tell us if there's actually a trade there or not. But yeah, Euro Yen, I'll be looking out for this one. I'll be looking out for this one because I don't think... I still think there's a good opportunity to be had with this one. Certainly if we get back underneath 142, then I'm just going to be looking at shorts at the exact same level. But yeah, it's an interesting one because high time frames are bullish. Then you got daily 4H bearish, so it's a little bit in a limbo right now. So if you can get back below 142, that's showing me, okay, sellers are really looking to step in and we could be looking to sell off. So that's kind of my outlook on Euro Yen. Same thing with Pound Yen as well. As you see, Pound Yen broke through that resistance, kind of the same resistance for Euro Yen. Again, potentially could be using this level as support to potentially fly. So again, a big red flag there for sellers just right underneath us. We had this lovely trend line in play, which the market's failed to hold on to as well. So, it could potentially be a fake out. If the market comes straight back underneath, then yeah, the sells are back on. If it's not, we'll probably see a few wicks coming down into this area, and that will probably tell us that, okay, Pound Yen is actually looking to go bullish. Because again, higher time frames, if we zoom out, particularly the weekly, but if I zoom out to the daily, you can see we're still in this kind of very corrective bullish trend. So higher time frames for the yen pairs, I think most of them are probably still bullish, but looking at the daily 4H, they're bearish. So we could be looking at a situation where the 4H daily is starting to follow the higher time frames. I wouldn't say that's confirmed just yet though, but if you start seeing higher highs and higher lows printed, certainly if we break through this high here as well, if we break through that high there, that will tell me that, okay, Pound Yen is probably actually going to go bullish, and now I'm going to be completely looking to change my bias altogether and looking for some long opportunities. So yeah, Pound Yen, there could be some buys on the retest of 162 here, so do keep an eye out for that. Some wicks, some good rejection on the hourly time frame. That could be a nice little entry signal, and that's actually a decent little target to aim for. Back to that resistance there, break and retest. You've got around 135 pip range to work with, which is not bad at all for Pound Yen. So yeah, that's kind of my outlook there for Euro Yen and Pound Yen. That was heavy looking for sells yesterday, but didn't quite materialize. And now we've broken through those key levels of resistance. So I'm just going to wait and see what they do next before I look to jump into any positions. So yeah, I hope it makes sense there for Euro Yen and Pound Yen. EuroCAD. I don't know what I said there. USD CAD. Let's say EuroCAD. USD CAD. We'll take a look next. Rabdi, no problem. Just got to be patient. Then, as always, of course, my friend. Of course. Greetings, boss. Can you please touch gold? Okay, I'll go through gold again quickly. Rabdi, you'd be happy to know it's dull, Andre, here then. Okay, yeah. I wish UK was more bright and sunny, but yeah, since I'm not there, yeah, it's not bad that I'm missing out on the grey, cloudy skies. To be fair, it is rainy season in Rwanda, so it's actually like on and off with the rain. So I am experiencing some rains out here, and some thunderstorms as well. So I'm not completely out the woods. High full effects just took a short CAD CHF. Entry was at 0.67596. Okay, we'll take a look at Euro. I keep thinking Euro CHF, CAD CHF. Raphael, the head and shoulders on the 4H. Okay, let me go take a look at that for USJPY. No problem, Anus, happy to help. Pankaj, what's up? Can I buy long-term pound AUD? Please confirm me some buy position on pound AUD. Okay, I'll go take a look at pound AUD as well. Pound USD, we'll take a look as well, no problem. Let me go take a look at USD CAD and CAD Swiss first. Okay, so USD CAD saw some downside yesterday. I was keeping an eye on the dollar pairs to see what happens with the DXY. And yeah, we did see some downside for USD CAD and dollar in particular. USD CAD did take a little bit of a hit, clearing out those lows. I was looking for USD CAD to potentially give us a nice reaction at this area here, but price completely just broke through that. No real sign that we are going to hold that level, and yeah, price just completely broke through. So yeah, USD CAD's quite interesting now because I'm zooming out on the higher time frames. We are still consistent with these higher lows here. Market is having a hard time coming back into the highs there on the left and creating some new highs there as well. We could just be seeing a deeper retracement, potentially coming back down to some of these areas here, possibly find some buyers further down and then have another push to the upside. Because like I said, we are still very, very consistent with these higher lows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, potentially 9. Another push to the upside. So all I can see in the higher time frames, particularly the daily and the weekly, is buys. However, 4H is bearish. So the way it looks to me is that we'll probably have some more downside back down to 1.348, 1.35 we'll call it. And then potentially here we could be looking at major higher low forming to go and attack the highs again. So with that information from the higher time frames, some short-term sales look good. And short-term, it's not really short-term to be fair, probably can last a week or two there. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking at for USD CAD. And then from here, possibly some buys take it back up again. Obviously, I'll wait for some break of structure first before looking for some buys, but that's kind of what I'm looking at. Some sales to the downside, maybe a week or two or a few days. It completely depends what USD CAD does. It could just melt to the downside over the next couple of days if it wanted to. And then, yeah, I do see some long-term buys coming up because we're still very, very consistent with those high lows and the higher time frames. It'll take a lot of momentum, a lot of weakness for the dollar in particular for us to go and violate that structure. It could happen. And if it does, we'll look to reevaluate things. But as of right now, I'm still looking for a major high low to form. And we've got good probability around the 1.35 area. So for me, for USD CAD, I'm looking at buys for this one. Unless we can get a pullback into that area there around 1.368. If not, and it just keeps selling off here, then I will be looking at buys down here at 1.35. So that's kind of my outlook there for USD CAD. We've had this huge consolidation. The market looks like it's just breaking to the downside now. So hopefully you can get some retracement, lower high form, see continuation, and then possibly some buys maybe next week sometime. But yeah, that's kind of the outlook for USD CAD. DXY is still bearish. Yesterday I was saying we've got a good chance of making it back down to these lows. We've got these consistent lower highs, 1, 2, 3. So we would automatically expect price to return to the lows and potentially put in some new lows as well. So as long as that move plays out, we probably will see USD CAD kind of just continue to fall. And yeah, potentially go and hit 1.35. So yeah, that's kind of my outlook there for USD CAD. Nothing at the moment, kind of just trading in the middle of nowhere. But if you can pull back higher, probably some shorts, or if we just fall, then there could be some longs soon come. Okay, I'll go take a look at CAD Swiss. I'll take a look at USD JPY and pound USD. Actually, I'll go take a look at USD JPY first for Raphael. So you said you saw a head and shoulder on the 4H time frame. Is that inverse head or normal head and shoulders? I think you're probably talking about inverse head and shoulders. So the left there, the head there, and the right there, and then okay. So yeah. That's what I was talking about previously. Because I can't remember. Someone said they're looking for shorts on USDJPY. Was it Rabdi? I think so. So yeah, I did say, because now that we've broken out that trend line and broken out that resistance, there's a good chance we could see price push higher now. So yeah, you're correct. That is an inverse head and shoulder pattern. Price is breaking through that high there. We could see a successful retest and a continuation higher. So that's why I said to Rabdi to watch out through this area, because buyers will probably be lurking there, getting ready to push price higher. Not seeing much rejection just yet though. Market's just coming back down to the level there, so keep an eye out for it. It's still a little bit too early doors to say if we're going to hold the level or not. We are coming back to test it, which is good, because now we can start looking for some entries down the lower time frames, 30 minute, maybe 15. Yeah, wait for some entry confirmation for it. But I do agree with you. I wouldn't push it too far though, because we do have these lower highs here, which could, push price bearish at any time pretty much. We haven't really violated any important structure. So I still see this buy opportunity as a bit more short term, maybe back to that resistance at 132,500 or 132,300. Could be a good little area to start taking some profit from. But yeah, overall USD I'm still bearish because we haven't violated any important structure yet. But yeah, you're right, we might see some short-term buys in the meantime. So yeah, I hope that made sense. Okay, so let me go through CAD Swiss next. CAD Seat Chef. I'll go for gold as well. ADUSD, I did forget that pair, didn't I? And NAS 100 there too. Okay, so where's AU? There we are. Okay, so ADUSD, yeah, this pair is looking awful. I'm not gonna lie, it's very, very choppy here. It's very, very choppy. I'm not seeing much clarity with ADUSD. I would favor sells. Of the structure. We're seeing lower lows and lower highs, but is it inviting for me to look to play shorts? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Yeah, I don't like ADUSD at all. I don't like it at all. It did break structure nice not yesterday, last week. So pullbacks were looking good, but we had this consolidation. Price broke to the upside for some good momentum, and yeah, that has completely thrown me off there. And quite frankly, this is basically just consolidation. So yeah, ADUSD I'm staying away from until we see some real momentum coming back into the market, aka breaking through some lows again. I'll be more than happy to get onto the next pullback. Maybe, did not mean to do that. Maybe retest some structure, something like this. I'll be more than happy to get into the market on that move there, on that third lower high. We've got one here, second one there, potentially a third. We've got, kind of corrective structure here, but we see a nice impulsive move there to the downside. That'll show me that the bears are back in control. We're taking out consecutive lows here to the left. 1, 2, 3. Then a pullback into that structure. That will be a really good probability of playing out. However, anything in here, I'm not really seeing high probability. Maybe in the low time frames, there might be something, hourly, 30 minute. Yeah, it's not a bad move there to the downside, to be fair. It's not a bad move to the downside. So there might be some short-term sells on the retest of the structure up here. Something like this could give you that move there to the downside. On the 30 minute, probably want to look at a 15-minute time frame for entries potentially. So that could be a little trade opportunity there on the 30 minute. But 4H hourly looks like a mess. This looks like a mess. So yeah, I would be staying away from ADUSD from a 4H perspective. 30 minute, 50 minute doesn't look too bad. But if I can get something like this on the 4H, I'll be more than happy to look to start shorting that. That looks like a really good opportunity, but of course there's a long way to go before that comes into play. But yeah, as things stand with the 4H alone, AUSD is a big mess in my opinion. Okay, I did say I was going to do a pair, but I think I missed out on it. Okay, so NAS 100 I said I'll do. CAD Swiss I said I'll do as well. Someone suggested they should enter the short and UAUD. Misty, what is up? I have a sell bias on UAUD. What's your view on that? Okay, I'll take a look at UAUD as well. Pound USD will take a look too. Okay, so let me go take a look at NAS 100. Okay, so NAS 100, we did see some downside. We did see some downside yesterday. We just about broke through these lows here. Just about broke the lows there, and essentially we're looking at a bigger double top pattern at play. So I said yesterday it would be nice if we can break through some lows here, see some lower lows, look for a lower high than short. We did see the structure break, but it doesn't look like we're getting that lower high formation. It would have been nice to see a retest of this structure and get the shorts on that level there. But as you see, the market looks like it's just breaking straight through that. So with US 100, your best bias, your best kind of opportunity would be looking to short higher up at the highs there at 12,800 there. You got a much safer stop loss above the highs here, unless we were to sell off again and form a lower high, break through some more structure, and then you get into another pullback somewhere, maybe in the retest of these lows. That would be a decent opportunity as well. But yeah, US 100, it's quite bullish right now on the lower time frames. Hourly, 4H seeing a bit of bullish momentum, so it may come back to retest the highs here, which could give some nice short term, well, potentially short term, it could end up being long term, some sells around 12,800. But yeah, I would like price to start breaking through some more lows, because it would be nice to see some more rejection here. Obviously price has not done that, it's breaking to the upside there. But if you could roll over and take out some more lows, the next lower high would be on more probability. Or you can look to short higher up, obviously safer stop loss, better risk to reward, but a tad more riskier trade. Sometimes it's, well, majority of the time it's always better to take the less risky trade than the more risky, because we are traders, but at the same time we're risk managers as well. You don't want to be taking on more risk than you need to be. So yeah, for US 100, I'm still bearish bias based on the daily. The daily still give me lower lows and lower highs, and we're still looking at potentially a major lower high forming around here. You can see the consecutive lower highs there. Potentially could be forming one over here, but I need some more evidence. I need some more evidence before it becomes a good quality trade setup. So yeah, hopefully that made sense there for US 100. If you can start taking out some lows, there could be good sells there, or potentially if we can get back into 12,800, I'll probably look for sales on the 4H time frame, not anything lower, because I do want my stop loss to be above the high there. But yeah, from a daily perspective, still bearish on US 100 until we break through 12,800. If you break through that, then I'll evaluate. Just made up a word there. I'll re-evaluate price action. Okay, I'll quickly go through gold. I said I'll quickly go through gold. I'll go through gold quickly, then I'll take a look at CAD CHF, Pound AUD, and Pound USD. So yeah, gold for me, the market's still consecutive these higher lows. So overall, still bullish on gold. We have failed to create higher highs, which I was pointing out yesterday. But since then, the market has printed 3 higher lows, 1, 2, and 3. So, well, potentially 3. Hasn't created it yet. We haven't created new highs, but potentially could be a higher low. So for gold, on the lower time frames, longs look good. Longs look good above 1975. I particularly like that one because that really shows that price has created that third higher low, retest, continuation. You've got some clear targets to work with at 2K. Or potentially you've got the double bottom option, which price comes back down and reconfirms 1960 as a level of support, gives you another entry signal, and then you can take the trade to the upside there, either back to the resistance here or potentially back to 2K, depending on your risk reward and how you look to manage your trades. So gold there is not a bad idea for some longs. But yeah, you want price either to retest 1960 or push up and retest, break and retest 1975 above that level. So I can see some decent opportunities here on the hourly 30-minute time frame, maybe 15 as well. 4H is a little bit, yeah, there's not much there on the 4H. On the lower time frames, there's more price action to work with. 4H is a little bit bare, But yeah, as you can see from 4H, we still got a bullish mark here. Market's creating higher highs and higher lows. Yes, we did fail to create a higher high there, but no significant low has been violated. So the structure is still deemed to be bullish. So yeah, that's kind of my outlook on gold. Still looking at 2K, move to 2K. Possibly could even see a break of that resistance as well. But yeah, still favor buys. Still favor buys for gold. And we still do have a bearish outlook for the DXY, or at least I still have a bearish bias outlook for DXY. So that should help boost gold's hopes to go higher. Okay, so CAD Swiss we'll take a look at, and also was it CAD Swiss and Pound AUD and Pound USD. So CAD CHF said you just entered a sell on this one. Okay, so I can see price has come back to retest this prior high here. It did kind of do that a little bit before, but it was a little bit messy. It has come to that area now. Yes, not a bad place. It's not particularly, I don't see much confluence with this area. It would be nice if price was a little bit higher, retesting that high there as well. But yeah, I don't see much confluence here. So I don't deem it to be a very high probable opportunity. Yes, it's in the same direction as higher time frames, weekly, daily, 4H even so, are still bearish, still consistent with the lower lows and lower highs. But yeah, there's not much going on here with CAD CHF, and I don't like it because we're trading at some new lows that we haven't been in a long time. And also I think, yeah, there's old time lows that the market created as well. So I don't particularly like selling too far down. It depends. If you're in it for a short-term sell, then fair enough. There could be a nice move into this area here. Possibly some buyers could look to take it back up again, or maybe just consolidate or something. But yeah, I do have a bearish bias for CAD CHF because that's the structure, that's the direction the structure is pointing in. But yeah, there's not much confluence there. Not much confluence there. So yeah, there's not much going there apart from that level. If the market can obviously hold the level, we can see a downside move. I'm not saying we can't or we won't. But when I'm taking my trades, I like to have layers of confluence built up. To really sharp probability in my favor, and I'm not quite seeing that with this CAD Swiss sells. But of course, if you look at something that's fit your plan, that's really important. I'm just going to share you my honest opinion and what I think about the market. If a trade has fit your criteria well, not just fit your criteria half-heartedly, but it's done it well, then sure, take your trades. That's really the process of trading, is taking trades that fit your criteria well. Some will be losses, some will be wins. As long as you've got a positive risk to reward and your win rate is not completely shocking, then you will be profitable in the long run. So yeah, CAD CHF shorts look okay, but yeah, personally I'll be waiting for some more evidence before looking to sell. Pound USD we'll take a look, and also Pound AUD. So I'll go through Pound AUD. Someone said they're looking for some longs, shorts. Sorry, wait, was it shorts and Pound AUD? No, longs and Pound AUD. And Euro AUD I'll take a look at as well. So Pound AUD. Where is Pound AUD? I'm on Pound AUD. I was looking for Pound AUD. I was on it. So yeah, you're looking for some longs and Pound AUD. Yeah, I would not buy Pound AUD at all. Prices just create some new highs on the daily and the 4H in the lower time frames as well. So this is way too bullish for me to buy. Price needs to retrace before looking to buy. If you're buying into that, you do run the risk of price doing this. It might give you a little bit more upside, and then you get retracement. Now you're in drawdown, and you don't have a solid level to put your stop loss at. If you just shove your stop loss in a random place, the market has a good chance of taking out that stop loss just to go higher. If your stop loss below key levels of support down here, so a safe place for your stop loss, yes, but your risk rewards can be very low. So there's no meaningful place to put your stop loss. So again, when you are looking to take trades, your entry is just as important as your stop loss. Is your stop loss in a good place? That should always be your question for your stop loss, not necessarily you know, the pips, your stop loss is between your entry. Is it in a safe, logical place to put your stop loss in? If that is yes, then you can start looking for, you know, how you can trigger get into the trade. But you know, if you're just going to simply buy that momentum there, number one, that momentum could just completely evaporate. The market comes straight back down. It has pinched the highs there, so that is a possibility. And number two, there's no safe place to put your stop loss. And again, even if you put your stop loss in a random place, there's a good possibility the market's just going to take it out anyway. So yeah, you want price to retrace. You want price to retrace before looking to do anything. You know, even back to some of these areas here, safe place to put your stop loss. The market can show some signs of rejection around there or around here as well. You know, these are much better places to look to buy the market. I'm particularly not too keen with pound AUD. I do prefer UAD a little bit better. I'll explain why shortly, but yeah, pound AUD is just a little bit overextended in my opinion, and it's quite corrected there as well. So yeah, pound AUD for me, no logical place for stop loss placement, and also it's way too high up to look to buy. You need price to retrace first. So hopefully that's made sense. Euro AUD, then I'll jump over to pound USD after. Yeah, Euro AUD, I'm bullish on this one. I understand where price is trading for Euro AUD is pretty high up, it's testing some resistance as well. But I'm definitely bearish. I'm bullish on Euro AUD. I'm seeing some really good setups further down. We got first low, second low. I'm looking at a third one forming somewhere around here. Wait, the cleaner is back. And we are back. Yeah, that'll probably be a running theme throughout my stay here. We come every day, which is a little bit excessive, but fair enough. Where were we? Okay, so yeah, Euro AUD. So yeah, Euro AUD, we're looking at some higher lows down here. 1, 2, looking at a third one. We've got some really good confluence here around 1.6, nice psychological level. And I'm pretty sure, yeah, we've got the 0.618 fibs. So I'm looking at buys for Euro AUD. Back down at these lows here. If you can see some retracement into that area, I'll be a very happy man. And we do have consolidation here, so I can see why you're looking for some sells, because obviously price is quite higher up, testing some resistance, might, you know, be needed to retrace, but it's not particularly, you know, we don't have that much probability in our favor. Right now, price is just consolidating, so I'm not really seeing, you know, really good sells unless you're looking to trade within the range. Then, you know, fair enough. Then you're just simply looking to trade the range. Not really a trade idea that I really go for. But if we can see some good rejection there might be some short-term sells within the range. But in terms of the overall structure and momentum of the market, you can see some really big swings here to the upside here for Euro AUD. So I definitely do favor buys. I do favor the market to push higher. Whether we break out consolidation to the upside now, or we come back and retrace and have a deep retracement and then push up. Either which way, I do favor Euro AUD to keep plugging higher. So I'm definitely bullish on Euro AUD. There could be some sells for this one, but yeah, I like to stay with the trend and with the flow of the market. So I would never be looking at some sells. I would never be looking at some sells in that type of market conditions. So hopefully that made sense there on Euro AUD. Pound USD we'll get into next. So yeah, we'll take a look at pound USD next. Breaking out. Okay, let's see what pound USD is doing. Where's pound USD? Okay, so yeah, pound USD is still bullish, still plugging highs. Quite corrective though. So it's not really showing a lot of momentum, but yeah, it's still pushing higher. Yesterday we were speaking about pound USD, you know, talking about price potentially coming back to 1.24. into the resistance here, and we're not too far away. So I said the only kind of opportunity I can see for pound USD would be a break and retest of the high. And again, that's kind of a short-term trade as well, because we don't have really too much pips to be trading with in between. Go around 50 pips before we hit 1.24. So lower time frames, there might be something there, but as of right now, I can't really see much for pound USD. Unless you're already in a buy, then cool to manage that trade further. But yeah, the best I can see is a break and retest of the high. So if price could do something like this, that could be a nice little buy there. Now we do have all these consecutive high lows here on the hourly. That could be a nice little buy opportunity on the retest of that structure, take it into 1.24. But there you want to be looking to take your profit and start calling it a day, because it is a very important area there as well. So yeah, pound USD for me, bullish bias, looking at 1.24. That's where we had that major double top there. So it looks like price is on its way to test that level. We potentially could sell off after that, because we do have a kind of a big ranging market here. But yeah, I'm not really seeing much from pound USD apart from that little buy there on the lower time frames. But yeah, definitely bullish bias for it. Definitely bullish bias. So I hope that's clarified a few things there with pound USD. Stavros, what is up? Hope you're doing good. NZD JPY will take a look as well, no problem. Okay, let me go take a look at pound USD in the 15-minute. Which is basically the same opportunity as I was talking about before. So yeah, where's that trend line gone? Is it not on the lower time frames? No, it's not. Yeah, because I don't really look at the minute time frames in my trading, so it's not ticked. But yeah, so basically looking at a break and retest there. There's nothing there on the 50-minute chart to look to do right now. Price just created some new highs past that point. On the 50-minute chart, this level looks decent. If you can retest the prior high, let me read that out the way. Retest that prior high there. That could be a nice confluence there to trade 1.232. That could possibly be a nice buy. But yeah, the market just printed some new highs down the 15. At least wicked at high. It hasn't closed higher. So yeah, you want to see some retracement, but at 15 you can see a very nice bullish trend here, consecutive higher highs and higher lows. If the market can push a little bit higher, break through the highs and get a candle closure, look for some retracement after, and simply just looking at catching those higher lows as pound USD, most likely is to push into 1.24 higher up there. So yeah, the plan for pound USD is 1.24. So if you're on the 50-minute chart, you just want to be looking for those higher lows, and the most logical place I can see to buy on the 15 at the moment is 1.232. So yeah, hopefully that made sense there on the 15. Okay, where am I? Euro yen, okay, we'll take a look. Apple and Euro pound, okay, Sam Mister will take a look. Have I taken a look at USDCHF? I don't think I have, boy. I will take a look at USDCHF. I was supposed to do it earlier, but I think I might have missed it. Sharif, what is up? Good morning. Hope you're doing good. I have 17 pip profit on pound USD. Nice. Is that long? I suppose. Yeah, it can't be short. Now 24 pips, giving us update as price ticks higher. Well, where's the target for the trade, Dodger? Is it at 1.24 area, or are you looking at trading stops, or did you have a particular, a different level in mind? Dance with Wolves, turns out it was John Wick lock-in. Yeah, if I scared off John Wick, then I definitely am something then. If I'm telling John Wick, leave me alone, and he just left me alone. Buy and retest on pound USD. Okay, we'll take a look. Thank you so much, Daniel TV, for subscribing. Yeah, guys, if you are enjoying the channel, please be sure to subscribe, just like Daniel TV over there. Set a great example for his peers. If you are enjoying the stream, please be sure to drop a like, subscribe, it really does help out, and obviously hit the bell as well so you don't miss out on any streams or uploads in the future. But yeah, I'm going to take a look at Euro JPY, and then I'll go take a look at Apple. I haven't looked at Apple in a long time. And Euro pound. So yeah, Euro JPY, like I said previously, price coming back in some confluence here, resistance to the trend line. We might see some downside, but because we've had such an impulsive breakout of this level of support, I favor some short-term sells for Euro Yen and possibly some buys to take it back up later on. Same thing with Pound Yen as well. I think Pound Yen, Pound Yen is not too far from that retest structure there, because we've broken through the trend line there, broken through that key level resistance. The likelihood is probably going to retest it and continue higher. The fact that we've got all of this rejection into the downside is a big sign that the market's failing to go lower. Now that we've got evidence that price actually breaking some structure to the upside, we can use that as confluence to fund some buys there to the upside. Same thing for Euro Yen as well, for all those crazy wicks there to the downside. So with Euro Yen, I think there could be some short-term sells. Maybe you can get a nice hourly bearish candle. 30, 50 minute might be a little bit too low time frames for me, but you do have a nice bearish engulfing there. Stop loss above the level would be okay. Some sells back down there look good, and then I would favor some buys back up again for Euro Yen on the retest of that structure upon some confirmation as well. So Euro Yen, I'm kind of just backing away right now. I'm still bearish. We haven't violated any key highs yet, so I'm kind of just waiting to see what price does next. If you start taking out 143.500, then price most likely is going to be probably going to go back to highs, back to here, probably a lot further as well, back to these areas on the left too. So if this level goes, that is 100% bullish bias for me for Euro Yen. And I will be looking at only buy positions going ahead, unless something else happens and we get some type of reversal later on. And obviously I will look to chop and change my bias as structure changes, but in terms of the immediate structure right now, if 143.500 breaks, from a full H perspective, I'll be looking at buys, and at that point we've got full H actually bullish as well, which will make which will line up with the higher time frames, because like we said earlier, we've got the weekly, which is still creating all these higher highs and higher lows. So you could actually be still looking at a possible move back to the resistance here from a weekly standpoint. But we will see how things develop, because if you get back below 142, things change, and I actually will be looking at sells again. But as of right now, I'm kind of just backing away, observing price, waiting for some more information before I look to place any positions. Okay, we'll take a look at Apple next. Okay, so Apple, let me just see the higher time frame. What's been going on with Apple recently? Obviously been flying to the upside, but it seems to be in some type of consolidation retracement period right now. We've got these consecutive lower highs, markets coming back into that same sort of area. We have been pinching these lows, but not really too convincingly. Just a bunch of wicks there to the downside. Excuse me, just sneezed. So it's coming to an interesting area. We might see some downside from here. I'm not too sure how far though. Let me start looking at the 4H lower time frames hourly. If you're talking about the lower time frames, we do definitely have a bullish trend on our midst here. A breaking retest of this level is looking, that's completely the wrong tool. A breaking retest of this level is looking pretty good. Buys from Apple there look decent there. Back into the resistance, we do have that higher time frame trend line just above us, so I wouldn't look to push the trade too far. Because there is a good chance that price will come straight back down and potentially form that major lower high on the daily chart. But you can see there the lower highs, and we're coming into that same area. But on the lower time frames, if you look at day trading Apple, buys do look good back up to 161, 162 area. We've seen some good momentum as well, so I do like what I'm seeing there with Apple. But in terms of just looking for buys, hold that level. We'll look for a push to that resistance, but would be taking profit around there, because we could be looking at a lower high formation. And Euro Pound we'll take a look at next. So Euro Pound's kind of middle of nowhere for me. Euro Pound's middle of nowhere, so there's nothing really to do here with Euro Pound. I'm looking at selling the pair. If you have checked out my weekly analysis, feel free to go and do that. But in my weekly analysis, I was talking about shorting Euro Pound up high, around these areas here. But it doesn't look like price is, it's not at that level yet, and it's kind of just consolidating around these prices here at 0.878. So in my opinion here, there's not much to do with Euro Yen at these prices. Just kind of let price be consolidating at support. It might break higher, it might come back down. I'm not too sure what price can do with Euro Pound. Quite frankly, the whole kind of structure here is basically consolidation, hence why I wouldn't be shorting up high. to make sure stop loss is in a safe place. But I'm looking at these lower highs here, so I'm looking at potentially another lower high forming at this area here. Come back into resistance around there. This would be the optimal trade opportunity for me for euro pound, and a push right back down to where we came from into this support level. That's kind of what I'm looking at for euro pound. Will we get it? I'm not too sure. Again, most of my job as a trader is just to map out critical areas where potentially price will come into, where we could see some opportunities form, good opportunities form, and then wait to see if price will get there or not. My job's not necessarily to pinpoint every fluctuation, every move in price, because that will make my job impossible. But if I can just map out good areas where price potentially could come into, and then investigate further, if we get there for some entries, things become a lot simpler, and you start to flow with the market rather than try to force yourself onto it and try to predict everything, because that's how you make trading very, very hard for yourself, because no one's going to do that perfectly. And it's quite easy to fall in that trap of trying to say, I think price is going to do this, and I hit this level, then pull back, so let me look for some longs here, then some shorts there. You're just exposing yourself to a lot of risk, and trying to call every move, which is very, very, it's impossible. So just look for the best ones. Sometimes price will come to your areas, sometimes price won't. Obviously, there can be some learning aspects within it, because if price is not coming to your level most of the time, or let's say like 20% of the time, then you probably are missing out on some areas in the market where you're just not seeing at the moment, where there can be some gaps in your knowledge there to learn. But if the market's coming to your areas 50-60% of the time, that's a good amount. And then sometimes you get some entries, sometimes you won't, and then you can kind of filter things down. But yeah, euro pound, that's what I'm looking at for some shorts at 0.88500, we'll call it, and some sells to the downside. But yeah, that is an absolute mess. I'm not seeing much in that at all. Yeah, that's just consolidation there. It would be nice if price can break higher so we can sell it, but yeah, price could do what it likes here. So hopefully that made sense. Okay, so USD CHF I will take a look at next. Buy retest on pound USD. Yeah, like I said, for pound USD, we are still getting those higher highs and higher lows. So I do favor pound USD to continue higher. A retest of that structure, which I pointed out earlier, would be a decent area to look to go long for. There's not much to do right now with pound USD, because price is only just broken through the area. But keep an eye out for some long opportunities around 1.233. But yeah, definitely bullish for pound USD. Still seeing higher highs and higher lows. DXY still looks pretty bearish as well. So yeah, all things do point to the upside. If we start breaking through some structure, then yeah, we can put a pause on things. But at the moment, all I'm seeing is price still pushing up higher. As the USD, will take a look. So USD CHF and the USD take a look at as well. Something different. Silver on 4H. Okay. Wait, that's not silver. That's gold silver. Yeah, I don't think I've looked at XAU, XAG before. Definitely something different. Do you trade that market, John? Or you just want to spice things up a little bit? Moch, what is up? Hope you're doing good. Welcome. Look at the retest on pound USD on the 15. Yeah, I already did that previously. I said price looks good for the retest of this structure here. Let me just move this out of the way. Price looks good for the retest of 1.233 because we've had this good impulse retracement, then the buy. I wouldn't take the break and retest of this high there. I would not take that break and retest of that high. The market is just a little bit too overextended. We've had this big impulse. I need more evidence that the market's holding to that area. That break and retest is just too it's too high up. You want price to retrace deeper than that. Quite exposed here, and your stop loss is not really that safe because we haven't really shown much rejection at that level yet. So yeah, pound USD buys look good down there, and that's kind of the only area I'm looking at there on the 15. Yeah, but bullish buys definitely for pound USD. Okay, so let me go take a look at USDCGF, and I'll drop onto NZUSD. So what is cooking with USDCGF? Ooh, okay, some nice bearish momentum to the downside. Okay, so obviously that's kind of feeding to the dollar weakness. There's a good chance we could be making our way back down to these lows here for USDCGF. I did say yesterday it would be nice to see price come back and get a third test of that trend line there. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Nice little test of that trend line, and a really nice rejection there on the hourly, especially with that 4H wick there as well, nice engulfing. So that could be a nice little entry there a couple of hours ago, and subsequently, you know, targets either back down to the lows here or even back down to the lows here at 0.91. So for USDCGF, I favor more downside. Again, the structure is still quite bearish. We've got kind of major lower high forming since the equal highs we've had here. Market's been forming consistent lower highs, so you know, would imagine price is going to go and hit 0.91 there. If you're not in USDCGF, it's difficult to find a re-entry. Maybe a retest of the structure here could be good on the lower time frames, 30, 15 minute chart. But that's kind of all I'm seeing for, you know, entries to get in this move. Best entry would have been here because you've got the safest stop loss above here, because if price is going to take that stop loss, most likely structure is going to reverse. You know, price could still take your stop loss here and could still head down. So that's why that would be the better entry. This is still, you know, possibly a good entry depending on the confirmation. But yeah, that's kind of the next best opportunity I can see for USDCGF, and kind of the only opportunity I can see so far to get back involved for the shorts. But 0.91 looks pretty likely. Obviously, the support level we have to consider there, that could be a nice place to bank some partials at 0.91380. But yeah, USDCGF for me, bearish bias. For dollar itself, I'm still pretty bearish. Okay, so gold, silver we'll take a look at. First, we'll take a look at NZUSD first. Poppy, what is up? Finally started my pound CHF short 2 hours ago. I'm looking okay. Okay, let's go see what's going on with pound CHF as well. You don't trade gold, silver. That is a sin. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, pairs like that, yeah, you don't really want to be trading because, number one, not a lot of people trade that pair. You know, the spreads are going to be different there. You just better just trading gold or even trading silver against dollar rather than trading against one another, because again, silver and gold do move pretty similar as well, so they will fluctuate quite a bit. I mean, we'll go take a look at the chart in a second after NZUSD. Don't trade, just notice it tends to trend well. Okay, we'll go take a look. First, NZUSD, I would imagine it would trend well though, because normally gold and silver are normally quite similar, but we'll go and see. NZUSD, so yeah, NZUSD, what's going on with this one? So we are still seeing these higher lows here, but the price is still stuck at the same resistance it's been at quite a while now, which is still this level here, 0.626, still failing to break through. We've got multiple rejections at this area, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, potentially 6 there. So with NZUSD, we are printing these higher lows, and it's kind of like what am I doing? It's kind of like a bowl-shaped pattern. Not the most orthodox one, but it's still the same principle of the market creating lower lows here. Then we had the low, some equal lows, and then we're printing some higher lows. So the market's kind of giving us this bowl-shaped pattern, and what we're looking for is a break of that resistance, a retest, another higher low formation, and some bias to the upside and possibilities. We could actually come all the way back to the resistance here on a good day. On a good day, we could see price back at 0.65. So yeah, that's kind of my outlook there for NZUSD. I do like the opportunity if you can break through that resistance there, but obviously we've been having such a hard time of late. So first we want to see the breakout, give us the evidence that, okay, buyers are really looking to step in this time, and we're not going to just potentially do something like this and roll over. Buyers are actually really stepping in, break through the highs, retest, find the next higher low. This will be a great level to buy from because it's acted as resistance so many times. So on the retest, 6, 7, 8 times out of 10, that level is probably going to hold. wait for confirmation, and then yeah, buys to the upside, and you got your pick of the bunch of where you want to target. You got some lows here, you got some highs here you can target, so it's up to you when you want to take the trade to. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking at for NZUSD. Still a little bit of a way to go. Still need to break through the resistance first and wait for the pullback on the 4H, which could take a couple of days forming before it forms. But yeah, that's kind of the best opportunity I can see now. I wouldn't short at that level. The fact that we're still printing higher lows is not a good sign. If we do, sell off, it probably will give us just another higher low and push up again. So the sells will probably be for short term. If we start violating some lows here, then cool. We'll look for the sells to go back down. But yeah, only when we start violating some lows will I look at that. So yeah, that's kind of my outlook for NZUSD. Breaking retest above 0.626, and I would imagine price is likely to go higher after that. But I'm not seeing anything to do right now. I know price is rejection resistance, but like I said, those higher lows are too prominent. We most likely will form another one, even if we do see some downside. So I wouldn't imagine the sales would last too long. But that's the best I can see for NZUSD, which may take a couple of days or maybe even next week to play out. Okay, so let's take a look at gold. Gold, silver. What's going on here? Okay, yeah, it does have a bit of a trend to it. There's some choppiness about it as well, which it does make sense about gold and silver. It does have its consolidation, but then when gold and silver separate a little bit, so you can see here, nice impulse, big difference between gold and silver. Gold's a lot stronger. Then they kind of, come together in strength, consolidate, and then we see another outburst again, which is kind of like a pattern that I can see is kind of repeating itself. Consolidation, big outburst, consolidation, big outburst. But anyway, what is the trend of this? Is it bullish? Let me go to higher time frames. Yeah, it kind of is bullish, but it's a little bit weird as well. Anyway, so the market's had a big move to the upside. It's starting to hit an area of resistance and seeing some reversal here. So yeah, some sells look good upon a retracement, something like that. And I would imagine price probably can come back down again, maybe retest this level here. That would be a nice little trade there for silver, because it looks like we are reversing. We've had this bullish trend here. Markets had this huge climatic move to the upside, consolidated, move back down again, kind of giving us a bit of a head and shoulder pattern, if you will. Left, head, right shoulder, break of the neckline. So I would favor some sells, but the market is extremely corrective here. So I wouldn't really touch it in this kind of area unless you're on the lower time frames, which I wouldn't really recommend trading gold, silver lower than hourly chart, because it could be quite chaotic. So yeah, for gold, silver, shorts look good, back up at 87,500, and we could see the next major lower high form, and you could see some big sells there to the downside. Or we might not see such a big pullback and may just come back and retest the high. Could do something like this and then sell off. So yeah, keep an eye on 86 and 87,500 for some bigger swing trades. But yeah, I would have a bearish bias for this one. But a pullback is a must. Okay, so I'll go take a look at pound Swiss. Poppy said you're in some sells, so we'll go see what's going on. DC Trading Company, nice, I agree with you. Gracias. Which pair are you agreeing with? Or yeah, which market are you agreeing with? I'm still looking at Euro JPY. I'm still patiently waiting. Yeah, I'm still looking at Euro JPY as well. But I need to wait for a bit more clarity. Before I like to do anything. Because high time frames are bullish. We could be seeing the 4H looking to line up with that. Possibly break through some highs. So I'm kind of waiting to see what happens next. If we get back below 142 for Euro EM, then I'll be back looking for the sells again. So 142, 160, break underneath that, and then we can look for some sells. Oh, birds chirp. How romantic. Can you hear that? I didn't imagine you guys could hear that. Wow, the microphone really does pick up everything. But yeah, there is, I think there's a bird's nest just outside the apartment. Okay, so let me go take a look at pound Swiss. If I have missed out any pairs, I said I'll look at, because I feel like I have. Just drop it down in the chat and I will take a look at it. But yeah, onto pound Swiss. I need to keep an eye on euro Swiss as well. I'm waiting for the 4H there, so still got a couple hours, 2 hours and 40 minutes left before it does close. But we'll be keeping an eye on some shorts from pound Swiss. I mean euro Swiss. But yeah, pound CHF, Poppy said just short on that one. It has come back into that same area we were talking about yesterday. Nice level of resistance there, 1.13400. Seeing those consecutive lower highs from that area there, back down again. So 1, 2, almost 3, but still a lower high. And then we'll come to that area for the fourth one there. So the rejection is a little bit, it's not really seeing good momentum. It's kind of a similar situation to Euro CHF as well, where we've come into some nice areas, but not really seeing that good of a reaction at the areas. Again, the setup is one thing, but the entry will validate the setup. You need the entry to look good as well to make the setup, play out the best it possibly could. Sometimes you can get a really good setup, but the entry just be rubbish. Those trades, not best to take, because again, the entry will determine whether the trade wins or not. If the entry is poor, you can still get an SL, and then maybe a better entry forms out later, and then the setup plays out. But then you still took the stop loss unnecessarily because the entry was poor. So yeah, I'm not a fan of the entry. I'm not sure what time frame you got on, probably the hourly or maybe 4H, I'm not too sure. But yeah, pound CHF, I'm not really seeing that good of momentum for the level that we're trading at. It's a big level, coming back to these daily highs here, where we are forming these lower highs. I want to see some good rejection at these areas. Right now, it's a little bit half-hearted with that big wick down the 4H. It's a sign that we tried to go bearish, but we're failing to do that a little bit. So, yeah, pound CHF looks okay, but I'm not too sure how far that will continue or how long it will continue. But where's your target for the trade, Poppy? I'd imagine maybe back down to support here, or maybe you're looking at the resistance just on top of the area, which would be a tad little bit safer. And probably would be a better place to target in general. But yeah, if your target's around there, that's respectable. But yeah, I'm just not a fan of that rejection at all. If you can get some more exaggerated wicks, I'll like it a little bit better. But yeah, I'm not a fan of the rejection. It's a nice setup in terms of location of price, because we're right at the highs and extremes of the pattern. We have pinpointed out this descending channel here. The market's creating lower highs, lower lows. Right at the top, we've got pretty much a safe stop loss. Above the highs here, but the entry's not quite doing it for me. Not really seeing enough momentum there. Okay, so we'll take a look at Euro Yen. ANS US 30 breaking some resistance. Any thoughts, Miko? Okay, we'll take a look at US 30. No, have I looked at US 30 today? I don't think I have. Trading gold silver is like swallowing both red and blue. Yeah, I mean, I've never taken a trade on gold silver. I think I've only looked at it, to be fair, for people on the stream. So probably only looked at it maybe 3 or 4 times ever. But yeah, there are some like really weird pairs which some people request, which is quite interesting. But okay, so yeah, Euro Yen, we're still trading at that resistance. Like I said, we broke through that resistance yesterday. I was looking for some sells, didn't get anything, unfortunately. I mean, I don't know why I say unfortunately, because it would have been a loss if I did. So yeah, I didn't get anything, fortunately, in terms of entry signal. Price was just having this kind of consolidation here, and then it broke to the upside. Coming to the Asian session, it broke to the upside. So yeah, for me, for Euro Yen, we haven't violated any critical lows, critical highs yet. So I still, deem the 4H structure bearish. But the fact that we have broken through the resistance there is a big red flag. And the way we've done it as well is a big red flag as well. So for Euro Yen, there might be some short-term sells from the level we're trading at. We're back at that resistance. We did see a really nice drop there last week. we might see some downside from that same area again. But there's a good chance we could find support slightly lower down at this 142 area and push up higher. So my kind of outlook for Euro Yen is maybe some short-term sells if you can hold 143. But I would imagine 142 is going to hold and push price higher. I could be wrong. If you do break back below 142, like I said, I will be interested in the shorts again, but only if you break below 142. So I'm kind of just waiting for things to happen with Euro Yen. If we do break through 143.500 up here on the left, then yeah, I will not be looking at shorts further. And I'm probably looking at price coming back to 145 up there, and actually a lot higher into 147 as well. So yeah, I'm kind of just waiting for more evidence on Euro Yen. So yeah, USD looks like it's retesting that structure there as well. No real confirmation to go long. CAD Yen broke to the upside, NZJPY broke to the upside, AJPY broke to the upside as well. So you can see Yen was definitely weak yesterday, or I should say during the night. And yeah, CHF could actually present some good buys actually. If you can start breaking through the resistance here, that would tell me that okay, buys are already stepping in because we have some equal highs here. And we've got some higher lows potentially, so something like this could look good. So yeah, something like that could interest me for Euro Yen. I mean CHF JPY. What did I say? Euro Yen. For CHF JPY. So yeah, I think for most JPY pairs, after the move we had yesterday, we're breaking through some key areas where I'm no longer looking to short anymore. Again, AJPY was testing this area here. It's broken through that area there as well, and more importantly, broken through that level there too. NZJPY broke through this support level there as well, and broke through the trend line there too. So again, losing two confluences there as well. Euro Yen, as we discussed, broke through that area, that level. Pound Yen broke through that level there as well. USD broke through this level here, possibly getting a retest to go higher as well. CAD Yen, of course, broke through this support level here and didn't hold the trend line there as well. So yen pairs look perfectly in sync. They're kind of all doing the exact same thing, and they're kind of all telling us that if we're going to sell off, we should have sold off yesterday. The fact that we are seeing this strong momentum to the upside breaking through this resistance here is telling me that there's probably some more juice to the upside for CAD Yen and just yen pairs in general. So I'm not particularly keen to short just yet until I see some strong evidence that the sellers are back in and we're breaking back underneath some key levels. Okay, so let me take a look at which pair I was going to take a look at. US30. So Anis, you say looking at US30 break and breaking some resistance, and any thoughts? Okay, so US30. Alright, so yeah, US30, I was looking for a big sell-off yesterday. We didn't get that. I was looking for a lower high around this area here. We had a really nice structure here, 1, 2, and 3. Price was coming back to retest some support and resistance, but it looks like the market is breaking through that. So he failed to hold. Again, this would be a nice trade. If this was an FX pair, I would have hopped into this trade here, which probably would have turned out to be a loss. But like I said, I don't really trade indices, so I didn't end up taking any positions here. But we are pushing higher, and like Dana said, breaking through some resistance here. So buys look decent, to be fair. Buys look decent. I wouldn't be too overly confident with the buys just yet, because again, no critical bearish structure has been violated. We could still potentially retrace higher into this area here and still potentially see some major downside. But the fact that we are breaking through resistance like we are against some really strong 4H candle closes, I would favor a push back into the high of the wick there on the left, back into the area there, with a break and retest there. Or price decides it wants to come a little bit deeper, that's fine as well. We might do something like this, trace a little bit deeper, and then push, maybe test some areas of support here on the left, something like that, around 32, 360 as well. So that could be a possible opportunity there. But yeah, I really do like the break and retest of the high there, 32,555, back to the high of the wick, possibly just see a new high past that as well. But yeah, you're definitely right there. Price is breaking through resistance. My thoughts are that the fact that we have failed to see the downside from yesterday, we did see a bit of momentum, but it failed to really follow through, and it just formed a higher low for price to springboard to the upside, snapping through the highs there. We've seen some good 4H candle closures there. So yeah, US30, I do favor another rally higher. A retest of 32,555 or a retest of 32,37. looks like good areas to look for some long opportunities for price to go higher. So yeah, US30, I'm looking at that wick there. You know, possibly could be looking at the resistance slightly higher up, possibly could form a high around there, 32,900. What's your outlook, Anus, for US30? What are you looking to do with that one? I suppose looking for the break and retest. NZJY, yeah, I did forget to do that pair. Apologies, Stavros, I will get onto that pair. Poppy, thanks Miko, I completely agree. It looks okay at best for me. My trade has super tight stop losses in terms of risk to rewards. I'm okay with a low probability trade. Again, that's all it is, understanding your business. Because that's what we're here. We're here to make profit. We're not necessarily here to, call the best move or, catch the best entry or predict where this is going, predict where that is going. We don't need to do that. We're here to run a business, and to run a business, you need to understand how your business is being run. Are you a type of are you running a type of business which has tighter stop losses, potentially lower win rate, but maximizes the risk reward? So when you are right, you're right big, and when you're wrong small, but you're wrong more often than you're right. Which again, is still a profitable model, and you have to be aware of the psychology that goes with that. Which means you have to be okay with taking multiple losing streaks, more losses, price getting stopped out, and then price going in your favor, and then looking to hold to the winners. When you are seeing profit, not closing too early, waiting for price to hit your levels, taking that profit when it's at the right time, and just repeating that process consistently. That's your business model, and you have to be mentally prepared to see that business model through. Other people, similar to me, have slightly bigger stop losses, trade less frequently, not have such big TPs, looking around 1 to 3, 1 to 4, take partials as well. Again, I've said many times that me taking partials, actually handicaps my profits. I could actually make more profit if I don't take partials and just hold to my final TPs. But the reason I take partials is for my psychology, because when I do take trades and I'm taking profit, it helps me hold to my TP, and it also helps during losing streaks as well. Because for me to end a losing streak, if I need to hit a TP, I could go 3-4 trades without hitting a final TP. But if I'm taking profits here and there for partials, sure, if I'm taking losses, but it's kind of counteracted with the partials. It might not, cover the losses completely, but the fact I'm still banking profit is good for my psychology and is healthy for me as well. So, I take less profits overall than I could if I just hold to my final TP, but I would have more drawdown, and I'll have to fight myself a lot more in terms of psychology, which is the number one thing for me to actually carry out my business, because I need to be level-headed and making the right decisions 99.9% of the time. 100% of the time would be nice, but obviously I will make mistakes here and there. So as long as you understand your business model, what you're looking to do in terms of probability and how you're going to manage your trades and everything, and make sure you're mentally prepared to do it, then all you need to do is just carry it out, which is obviously the hard part. But as long as you're prepared and you know what you're up against, it makes things a lot easier. So I do respect that, Poppy. Anyway, let me go take a look at NZJPY before I can forget again for Stavros. NZJPY. So yeah, NZJPY, like I said, there were some really nice sells yesterday. Nice wicks there to the upside. However, price fell to rally. I mean, not to rally, it did rally to fall. Again, there was a big red flag for the sells for NZJPY yesterday, which was the fact that we were trading in this massive level of support. And I said that NZJPY, if you look out on the higher time frames, we've kind of just got a big consolidation here. So taking shorts down here is just never really a good idea. Even that the setup is really good, it's good probability, good rejection, good entry signal. Even if the setup is very good, the shorts simply at the low of the range is just never a good place to sell from. Again, on another day that could have played out, I never would have taken the trade anyway, because I would have told you guys about the low of the range. It's not a good place to sell. Another day could have played out. On this day, it hasn't played out, and seen it move to the upside. So, the sells were never good there. I said yesterday, if this setup here was just like up here, so if you just copy and paste all of this just further up there. You know, if we're in the middle of the range, I would be more happy to take that trade, because at least we've got some distance between the where we're trading in the low of the range. But the fact that we're down low is always going to be a big red flag. And yeah, we broke to the upside. So with NZJPY, the fact that we're doing that, we could actually see price kind of give us a higher low here, possibly a bit of an inverse head and shoulder, and see some buys to the upside. Take into account that where we are trading on the higher time frames, there's a possibility we could see something like this in the near future for NZJPY. So I do favor some buys for this one. I do favor some buys. I do think we could see some more upside. I do want to see a correction first. I do want to see a correction first. You know, kind of trading at some resistance now, some supply there on the left, so it doesn't really make too much sense looking to sell. So buy, into that. But if you can see a pullback, retest this key level of support, you know, big level of support there, as we can see on the left, retest it. That possibly could be a nice area to let's go long again, and see if you can get some buys there to the upside, back into 82,470, and then possibly higher as well, because like I said, we are in a big range in the higher time frames. There's a good chance we could see a push back into this area here, so it could end up being a very, very big swing trade. But nonetheless, NZJPY breaking through that structure, breaking through that support level, those longs look okay. Like I said, I'm not really a big fan of ranging markets, but if you are going to trade it, we're down low. The buys are what you want to be looking at. There's good confidence there in the 4H, good entry signal, you know, back to that resistance there. If you can get a breakout, you can probably go a lot further. So that's kind of what I favor for NZJPY. Hopefully that made sense, Stavros. Let me know what you're looking at as well. Hemming, no problem, happy to help. NAS 100, okay, we'll take a look. Yeah, looking for the retest to maybe catch the higher move. Okay, nice. So yeah, it does look good. So I hope you can get that retracement for US 30. I completely agree with you on that one there, Ines. Completely agree with you. So retest 32,560 looks good for some buys. Obviously, that's a big wick there, which could be looked to be taken out. The fact that we had this big sell-off, it amounted to nothing, tells me there's a good chance we probably are going to take that wick. Because if the market was going to sell off, most likely you would have done it yesterday. So yeah, the break and retest looks good, but obviously wait for the confirmation to confirm things, and then hopefully we can see that push to the upside and possibly push into that level there as well. Okay, so NAS 100 we'll take a look at. S&P as well. Don't think we'll take a look at S&P yet. Dance for fools, in other words, if we don't take partial profits, we'll go nuts. Yeah, I mean, I know that's the case with me, because I remember when I was back testing my strategy, and you know, I could tell that, okay, if I hold to my TPs, you know, I can make a good, you know, 10, 15R, you know, at the end of the year, maybe even 20R as well, just by holding to my TPs. But then when I went to implement it in the live markets, I remember there was a time where I took like 4 losses in a row, and I remember I had 2 trades after that. Which were very, very close to hit my to hit my TP. It came like within like 10 pips of my TP, and then it started to reverse against me, and it took me out of break even. And I was just thinking, you know, if that trade hit TP, I would have made back most of my profits. But now, you know, I'm still in drawdown, and I took another trade, and it came very, very close to my TP again, and it came back down. And I remember my emotional state was not very, very good, because with those 2 trades, if they hit TP, I'll be back in profit, and those 4 losers would have gone. But I'm still down profit, and I've seen, you know, decent profit, but I just haven't got anything to show for it. So I'm 6 trades in, you know, probably like maybe half the month in, and there's just no progression there. So I understand, you know, taking profits, partial profits, not necessarily going to get rid of the 4 losers, but it makes me just in a much better mental state, because I'm actually banking something, you know. I can see something from my work. So yeah, from that perspective, that's why I started to take partial profits, and since then haven't looked back. Sure, it's nice to, if I didn't take partial profits and just hold to my TP, you know, it would be nice to take the full profit, but I have to understand that I'm not here to make the most money. Maybe in the long term, yes, but in the medium term right now, I'm just making sure that I'm consistent and making sure that I'm just realizing my gains and making money. That's the most important thing to me right now, that I'm making profits. How much profits I make is something that I could, look to slowly look to capitalize on and try to, get better and leverage in the future. But for me, it's just staying consistent and making sure you're making profit. And obviously, just get more capital as well. Just get more capital, do the exact same thing, you make more money anyway. But yeah, that's the only reason why I take partials. Because in terms of profits, you'd be more profitable if you didn't. But not a lot of people can hold that mentally. Some people can, and kudos to them. But yeah, I'm not them. So yeah, let me take a look at NAS and S&P. Oh, wrong page. NAS and S&P. So US 100, yeah, like I said, for this one, I want price to start clearing out some lows. If price can start clearing out some lows, that would be very, very nice indeed. Start doing that. Some lower highs after that would be good, because I'm still looking at that higher time frame bearish structure on the daily chart, where we can possibly moving back down to these lows here, which is 10,725. So that's what I'm looking at price coming back down into. But of course, we need a lot to happen before that, before we can look at price coming there. Preferably, if you can take out that low, that could be a decent opportunity on the retest. But there might be some shorts up here if we were to come into that level there anyway. Because if the market's going to hold this resistance and double top the level, we would expect the market to roll over. Stop loss above there, pretty safe. If it does get hit, then we could be looking at the market actually going high and actually starting a bullish trend. So safe stop loss is up there, yes. Slightly risky trade because the market on the 4H is still pretty bullish. But if you can start taking out some lows, breaking retest some structure, something like that, I would like the sells. So that's kind of what I'm looking at for NAS. I'm not looking at buys at all because I know, yes, the high lows are still there, but we're coming into some strong resistance here. So for buys, I need price to actually break through that and then look to buy on the top of that structure. That'll be a much, much better buy setup for me going into the future. So yeah, that's the only way I look to buy NAS. Sell NAS, however, if you can break through the lows there, that would be a good opportunity. So that's kind of what I'm looking at for US 100. S&P, for this one, looks similar to US 30. Again, the market's still printing these higher lows, 1, 2, 3, 4, potentially 5 there as well. I was looking for S&P to roll over yesterday. Again, same thing with US 30, they both saw some downside, but it never really picked up momentum, and all price there was just placing another higher low. And now it looks like we are breaking through some structure here on the left. So it's a pretty similar opportunity to US 30. I do favor US 30 a little bit more though, but it's the exact same thing, really looking for the break and retest for push into the high of the wick, which is here on the left at 40.40. So yeah, the plan for US 500 is some more upside. If we do break back underneath the level, there's a possibility you can form another higher low somewhere and just and continue the path there to the upside. Maybe retest some of this support here. So keep an eye out for this opportunity there, because even if you do not hold the level, it might just be a deeper retracement, higher low, and then we see the upside. Or we might just see a small retest of the level and then continuation. Obviously, the confirmation is how we'll know if the market's going to hold the level or not. But all I'm seeing is more upside here for US 500, S&P, and the wick there at 40.40 looks like a decent logical target to have. Even back to the resistance here as well, just above it at 40.60. So yeah, S&P bullish bias for this one. US 30 bullish bias for this one. Obviously higher time frames aren't bearish, but look at the 4H hourly. We're creating higher highs and higher lows here, so I got to favor more upside. Until we start breaking through some lows, then I look to change that bias. But as of right now, yeah, we are pushing up higher. So yeah, keep an eye out on the retest of these structures here for some longs. Possibly could happen later today or if not tomorrow. And US 30, same thing as well. Could happen later today or if not tomorrow for some buys. £1.23320 USD good for buy entry. Okay, we'll take a look. EuroCAD, we'll take a look as well. Evan FX, what's up? Is it Ivan or yeah, Ivan? I think it's Ivan. What's up? Hope you're doing good. Welcome to the stream. Is this your first time on the stream? If it is, welcome. Jezreel, what is up? Hope you're doing good. Poppy, what is up? HPR, USD will take a look as well. I should have taken partial USD short last week. I just missed my target by a whisker. Yeah, again, that's the beauty of having take profits. That sometimes price will just miss out on your TP and then it can roll over. Which is why some people use your trading stop losses. So they trail the stop losses up, so they don't necessarily have a final target, and they let the market take them out as price goes on. But yeah, using those cemented levels will always mean that there's a possibility price could come a few pips away from your target and then roll over. Obviously, to counteract that, partials is a good way, because then you are realizing some gains as long as price continues higher. But yeah, that will happen to you no matter what your strategy is. If you have cemented TPs, there will be some times where price just reverses against you just before them. And I haven't found a way to completely erase that out of my trading. If I do find a way, I'll let you know. But yeah, that will happen from time to time, which is, again, partials can help you kind of digest that mentally, because it is very, very stressful to go through that. Anyway, we'll take a look. Which pair did I say I was going to take a look at? Pound USD buy 1.2. Is it there already? We were looking at Pound USD not too long ago. Okay, it's not quite there. So yeah, Pound USD, I'd only look to buy down here. We've got these consecutive high lows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We've got a lovely bullish trend here for Pound USD. But yeah, this is the only level where I'm not looking to buy. Well, if you're looking to buy, this is a level you can look to buy. It's a little bit too low time frames for me to consider buying. But if I was in the low time frames, this would be the only level I would consider, 1.233. Only logical place I would consider. Right now, price is kind of in the middle of nowhere for me on the 15-minute. We kind of just create some new highs. Markets on a pullback. So yeah, 1.233, the only logical place to buy. I think that's the level you said, 1.23320. Yeah. So yeah, keep it on that level. Keep it on that level. There could be some nice entries there, but obviously we're not at that area yet. So keep a lookout for some confirmation. EuroCAD we'll take a look at. I'll move on to USD-CAD as well. EUR-USD will take. Have I looked at EUR-USD? I don't think I've looked at EUR-USD. I don't think I've actually looked at EUR-USD on the stream yet, which is interesting, because normally it's my most requested pet. But anyway, we'll start with EuroCAD, was it? Yeah, EuroCAD, now move on to USD-CAD. EuroCAD, where are you? There you are. So yeah, EuroCAD, I'm looking at buys for this one slightly further down from where price is trading at. It's giving us a lot of wicks here to the downside. But like I said yesterday, this is the place I'm looking to go long. Excuse me. This is the place I'm looking to go long, back down the consolidation here. Got some really good confluence down at this area, so I'm hoping to see a down move into that area, and then looking to go long down here for a move back into that resistance, which is this level up here at 1.49. So that's the plan for EuroCAD for myself. Yes, I understand EuroCAD is having a retest of the high there, but I don't deem too much confluence at that area, at that particular level, other than that level there. So yes, EuroCAD potentially could see some upside from here, but I'm looking for price to come a little bit deeper into this 1.468, 1.466 area, and that's where I'll start looking for my entry confirmations to go long. And yeah, targets, I'll probably look to take it to the highs there. If not, then I may look to take it into this high here, depending on the risk reward. But yeah, all I can see for EuroCAD is this bullish structure. Market's consistent with the higher highs and higher lows. We're still seeing some really good momentum to the upside here as well. So I'm liking the structure here, and it's a pretty healthy pullback there as well. I just want market to come a little bit deeper first before I look to do anything and buy it up again. So yeah, EuroCAD bullish bias. That's my area of interest. Not quite there. It might hold this and move without me if it does. And so be it. But if it come down a little bit further, then that will be of interest there for EuroCAD. And USD CAD, where are you? USD CAD over here. So yeah, USD CAD for me, I favor some more downside. Long term USD CAD for me is still pretty bullish. I'm looking at the higher time frames, daily and the weekly. And as you can see, I've mapped out all these high lows. So the market is still pushing to the upside. No higher low has been violated yet, so I still deem this to be a bullish structure in the higher time frames. But because of the momentum we're seeing here to the downside, I do favor some more short-term sells for a bigger term buy later on. I'm still expecting USD CAD to be trading at 1.39 eventually, as long as we don't violate any of these major daily lows. And this was like a good area where a good higher low could form. So for USD CAD, it looks like we've broken out the consolidation here to the downside here. So I do favor just some retracement, continuation lower. Then we can start looking at some longs down here for some buys to potentially take it back up again. So yeah, USD CAD sales look good for maybe, I don't know, a week or so. I don't know how long that move could take. It could take a couple of days, it could take an entire week. But yeah, USD CAD, I do favor some sells back down to 1.35. And then if you can hold that area, see some nice buy confirmations, I do think we could be in for a really big swing back to the upside, depending how we react to that level. Because obviously we could just violate it and go straight down. So I'll need to see how price reacts to that level first. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking at for USD CAD. HPR, are you currently trading USD CAD, or are you looking to trade it, or you have got you've got an idea for it? Euro USD we'll take a look at next. Nice work, thank you so much, Olakune, much appreciated. Yeah, Euro USD I'll take a look at, no problemo. Already buy Euro CAD at 1.47. I purchased a fund account yesterday. Nice. Okay, is that a challenge phase or you're trading it? 5K account. Give me some tips. Evaluation model. Well, if you're looking to trade looking to secure a funded account, your best bet would be, number one, have you hit the profit target before in your personal trading? So I'm not too sure which firm you're with, but if the profit target is like 8%, have you hit 8%, at least a few times in a month before? Because if you haven't done 8% before, then yeah, it's kind of a lost cause. I would say your best advice would be look just to maintain the account for at least the first week. You don't want to get too excited. Make sure you're not too heavy in drawdown if you do go into drawdown, and if you do in profit, make sure you do protect that profit. But yeah, your best kind of option would be look to maintain that account. And then when you get slightly towards the end of the challenge, then you can look to maintain those gains which you've secured and use that to your advantage. So say you need 4% to win the challenge going into the final week. You can risk the gains you have secured already, because as long as you're in profit, I'm not too sure. Do they have a second child if you remain in profit and you follow the rules? If they do, then you can risk the profit you've made, or most of the profit you made at least, to potentially capitalize on that 4%. But I think the biggest advice would be just look to maintain the account for at least the first half of the month, and not put yourself in a situation where it's unrecoverable. But yeah, Euro USD we'll take a look at. So Euro USD, there's nothing really to do here. There's nothing really to do with Euro USD. The market is still pretty bullish here, climbing higher. It's retesting some good highs here on the left. Which would have been some nice buys there at the start of the week. Unfortunately, did miss that. And yeah, the market's still pretty bullish. So naturally, would expect the market to return to the highs, which we're not too far away now at 1.09. On the lower time frames, there could be something there for Euro USD on the retest of the high there. If we go to like the 15-minute chart, there could be some buys here on the retest of that high. Give us some more wicks there to the downside. That could be a nice little buy there to the upside. 15-minute, 30-minute chart. So that's kind of the best opportunity I can see on the lower time frames for Euro USD. As for the 4H, the ship has sailed. The ship has sailed on the 4H and the hourly. 15 minute, 30 minute, yes, there could be something there in the retest, but that's all I can see. That is all I can see there for Euro USD. But yeah, in terms of bias and everything, still very, very bullish. 1.09 is still the main target for this one. But yeah, for me, the ship is definitely sailed unless we come back and double bottom, which that would interest me. But if not, yeah, the ship is sailed. So the only opportunity I can see is on the 15-minute time frame, a retest of that high, and yeah, possible buys back into that area there. But yeah, still looking for entry confirmation before looking to do anything. So yeah, that's kind of my outlook for Euro USD. Only looking at more upside there. You already buy EuroCAD at 1.47, so I'd imagine that's on the retest of that prior high. 1.47. So wait, 1.47. 1.474. Sorry, if we got the 4. 1.474. So it gets down here. So yeah, it's a decent place to buy. Don't get me wrong, it's a decent place to buy. So it's a good level. But there's just a lot more confidence further down, and that's where my interest lies for EuroCAD. So I'll be waiting to see if we can get here. We may or may not get there. Price potentially could hold this area and see some upside. Like I said, it's a decent level, but I've just got a lot more confidence going for me further down. So that's where my interest lies for EuroCAD. At this level, yes, it's got a nice break and retest, but that's kind of it. We've got 50% fib just below. We've got the trend line just below as well. So for me, there's just a lot more going on down, further down than at that level. So yeah, as long as you're following your plan, again, it's important because, like I said, you're training. Well, you're doing a challenge for a firm. You should definitely have a plan in place. So I would imagine you're following that plan right now. If that plan is telling you to buy there, and it's a good opportunity that fits your plan well, then obviously see out the trade. If it does come lower, there's some confluence, further down, which possibly look for some re-entries. As long as you've got positive risk to rewards, you can make back your loss plus more. But yeah, I mean that's the best I can see for EuroCAD. But again, I'm not here to predict every single move. I'm just looking for good probability trades, and that's the best probability I can see for EuroCAD. So that will be the opportunity that I'll be waiting for to see if that materializes. But yeah, we could see some upside from there, and hopefully, for your sake, it plays out. Wow, EuroCHF, big pullback on that wick there. So again, still got 2 hours left before that 4H candle closes. I'm looking to go short in EuroCHF, but like I said, that 4H candle close there wasn't big enough for me. So I was waiting for the next one, which is this current candle that's open here. Still got 2 hours left. We could still easily fill that wick and even further within those 2 hours. But yeah, if the candle closes like that, and obviously there's nothing there for me. So I will be keeping an eye on EuroCHF. I'm looking to short coming into the week. This is an opportunity I'm looking at. I retested that high to roll over. I'm forming these consecutive lower highs here. All I'm looking at is the next lower high. We'll move back down into these areas. I'll be keeping an eye on the yen pairs. This doesn't look like Euro yen seems to be holding that level there. It's like we could break through. If we do see some downside, then I still do think 142 will probably send us back up again. Pound yen still pushing up. Doesn't look like it's got a retest at that level. Still potentially could come back to retest it though. So there might be some short-term buys there. USD JPY reacting with that level, starting to pull back up there as well. So yeah, the yen pairs still look pretty bullish. The fact they have broke through all these levels at the same time with good momentum is a sign that tells me that, yeah, price most likely will go higher as well. Rennie, what's up? Good morning. Welcome to the stream. Just in time to catch the yen. But as always, as we say on the stream, better late than never. But yeah, going to the final half of the week, the final half, the second half. There's only two halves. Though I said the final half, like there's multiple. Going to the end of the week, there's only a few pairs I'm looking at. EuroCHF is one. Possibly could be a trade later today, or potentially not, depending on that candle. I will be keeping an eye on the yen pairs, see how these guys progress, because these were my focus coming into the week, particularly the shorts, but there could be some nice longs. Certainly on CHF JPY if you can break through that resistance there. I think if I am looking to long any any JPY pair, it probably will be CHF JPY, because 144 is a really good level. If you've got some good confidence there with the trend line, break and retest, I'll be more than happy to look to long that if you can get a good impulse and move there to the upside. I'll keep an eye on some of the dollar pairs, USD, Euro USD, Pound USD. If we're going to see some more dollar weakness, there might be some opportunities later on. But yeah, there's nothing really there for me. In gold, there might be some nice opportunities there on the lower time frames. But yeah, I'm not really seeing fantastic opportunities in the market right now. I need a lot more development for some pairs. UAD, I need that to come lower. Euro CAD, I need that to come lower. So yeah, I'm not really seeing fantastic opportunities in the market. But again, things can change very, very quickly. All it takes is one big move, structure to break. Things look different. I could be looking to take 2-3 trades. Okay, so I'll do UAD. Khalid, no problem. Ross, what is up? I am doing good. How are you? What do you think of USD CAD short at the retest of the previous broken level? Okay, I'll go through Euro, AUD, USD CAD, and gold to finish things off. So Euro AUD, I'm looking for buys for that one. Like I said, it looks good, but it hasn't quite materialized how I want it to do yet. This is my level of confluence, similar setup to Euro CAD. I'm looking to buy down there. Right now, price consolidating, so there's nothing for me to do in that area. Price could potentially break to the upside. If it does, it does. There might be some nice break and retest on the high there. Not really my type of trade. Price is a little bit too higher up for me. So I do want price to see a deep retracement. So this is what I'm looking at. Here is a no-no for me. But if it does retrace, I'll be more than happy to buy down there. USD CAD, shorts do look good. For this one, I'm looking at some short-term sells for USD CAD back down to 1.35 for some buys later on. Yes, this is a decent level to look at as well. I'm also looking at this level just above it at 1.36895. Either one of these levels, nice break and we tested those levels. Good confirmation. I do think there'll be more downside to be had. I'm looking at 1.35, and then I'm looking at some bigger term buys, some longer term buys in the future at 1.35 as well. So yeah, that's the plan for USD CAD. Some sells at that level here. Obviously, we're not quite there yet, so keep an eye on that one. Probably just set an alert and let price do what it needs to do, because there's a chance that we could just melt to the downside and not get the retracement. But hopefully, you can get some buys, later on anyway. So, either which way, if you do pull back up higher, there could be some shorts. If you do drop lower, there could be some nice longs. But yeah, I do like that level, Ross. It does look good. And last but not least, gold. So yeah, gold, I do favor some longs. The market's still pretty consistent with these higher highs and higher lows, as we can see here, consecutive higher lows. It did fail to create a higher high there, but I do think we'll probably push back into 2K. Certainly, if we break through 975, there's a very, very high chance we'll probably push into 2K there. So I said either we retest this level here at 1960, look to buy on that higher low, or simply break and retest 1975, get the buys there and take it up. But all I'm looking at is buys for gold. Still seeing a bullish structure here. Still printing higher lows. No significant lows being violated yet. So I'm looking for price to push back into 2K for gold. So yeah, guys, that brings us to the end of the stream. I hope you all have found it useful. If you have, please be sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel. It does really help out. It's hard to find trades this week. It's been a week of watching. Yeah, it has been a week of watching for me as well. Apart from Monday, there was a good trade in Euro USD, which I did this. But apart from that, yeah, it has definitely been a week of watching. Watching the JPY pairs, been looking to short, didn't get anything. Now they're looking quite bullish and may be able to give it some nice buys later on. So staying patient is a big part of trading, not trying to force things. Again, that's how you give back your profits or just give back your capital. Staying patient is definitely the best thing to do. If you're doubtful about an opportunity, the best thing to do is not take it. Write it down somewhere, journal it. If you're going to risk live capital in it and you're not too confident about the trade, you want to be confident about every trade you're going to take, not necessarily that it will win, but confident that it's something you've tested before, something that you know that works, and something you believe in. Based on hardcore data and just based on your skill set as a trader as well. But if it's something that is not quite there, you kind of it might work, so I want to trade it so I don't miss out. Just write it down. Don't risk real money on it, or trade it on a demo, even better, and then learn from it, journal those, and soon enough you have a big collection of trades that you can add to your repertoire. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for coming onto the stream. I will be live again tomorrow as well. You do have me again tomorrow. Moch, thank you so much. Anis, thank you so much as well. My moderators. Umar, no problem. Poppy, much appreciated. Thank you so much, guys, for coming to the stream. If you haven't done already, drop a like, subscribe as well. If you are looking for a broker, I do have my affiliate link to IC Markets. Feel free to check it out if you want to. Feel free to check out the Telegram. If I do get any setups, I'll let you guys know on that Telegram. Link in the description to that. But yeah, guys, have a fantastic day. And yeah, stay safe, and I'll catch you all tomorrow.